So whatever happened to the Captain Janeway spin-off? Why did it never get past the point of just simple conversations? Why did it never get past the development stage? Guys, I'm writer, producer, trader Bubba, and this is Bubba Breaks Sci-Fi.
You're gonna see some serious shit.
So say we all.
Engage.
Thank you so much to the people that have taken the time to do my online poll. You will find that on my YouTube homepage here. If you get a chance, you're going to want to put in your vote, and I'll make a video with a pitch on the spinoff for the person that you most want to see a spinoff for. Currently, Archer's in the lead, but I'm very proud that Chief O'Brien is in a very close second. Do me a favor, don't pick Janeway or Worf because I have no good ideas for them. But maybe if we make enough noise about a Chief O'Brien spinoff or something, you know, you never know who's watching these videos. Maybe we can make something happen. Why didn't Captain Janeway get her own spinoff, as was discussed about a year ago? A couple of reasons, in my opinion. Number one, at the time when they started having the discussions, Strange New Worlds was doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and then of course Star Trek, Picard season 3 was coming out, and that thing was just blowing everything away. So there was a lot of hype around the franchise at that time, sort of ignoring the divisions over Star Trek Discovery, which had ended, and we hadn't gotten Starfleet Academy yet. But that was sort of the prime era for modern day New Trek, as some people call it, with Star Trek Prodigy and Lower Decks doing really well. Strange New Worlds, was pretty popular amongst the fan base. And then we were supposed to get a Janeway spinoff, and it never quite came to be. But why is that? As a writer, producer, and fan of Star Trek, the problem when you're pulling on nostalgia is that era of Star Trek, meaning Voyager, Deep Space Nine, is just a continuation of really the Next Generation. And if you're going to go down that nostalgia route, the Next Generation is really the core of the nostalgia. That's what really launched that era of Star Trek more than any other. And God, I wish they had the internet, or at least social media, when Deep Space Nine was launched, because that was a very divisive show. A lot of people were saying that isn't real Star Trek, at least upon launch. Now, here we are 30 years later, and it's a much beloved part of the franchise. But I don't think the nostalgia bug works as well on anything past the Next Generation, because people our age, 40 plus years, grew up with the Next Generation being their Star Trek, and that anything that came after was a continuation of that sort of franchise. And you just don't quite get the nostalgia bug for the continuation to spin off the other characters that aren't a part of that original, for lack of a better term, cast from TNG. So I don't think the draw was ever really there, at least not when you're doing $10 million an episode, $100 million for a season of only 10 episodes. I think somebody at Paramount probably was realizing Star Trek was kind of coming down off its high at that point. Picard season 3 doing so well. And I think they saw the writing on the wall, though. I think the fan base is just too divided, and the fan base alone really isn't enough to warrant the spending that they're doing on some of these series. And that's why so many of them got canceled. I see you. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll read to you the naughty parts of them Zodi. Am I disappointed that Janeway didn't get a spinoff? No. I have to be honest, the Voyager story got wrapped up in the last episode. However you feel about that final episode, the story was wrapped up. They made it home. I don't know if I really care about what happens to the characters after they get back to Earth, because their story is the journey in the Delta Quadrant trying to get back home. And we saw that got wrapped up. Again, no matter how you feel about that last episode, it did get wrapped up. So there really isn't the drive there to see where they're at nowadays. They've all gone their separate ways, I'm sure, and they're doing something else Star Trek-y, if not retired. So like with the original cast with Captain Kirk, Star Trek 6 The Undiscovered Country, there's that beautiful shot of them on the bridge, as the Enterprise goes off into the sunset because they're on their way home to retire now. And that we knew that was going to be the last Jim Kirk Enterprise Star Trek movie. With Star Trek Nemesis, there was supposed to probably be at least one more movie on it. Unfortunately, we never really got it. So there was still that little bit of a, TNG didn't really get the send-off that they deserve, and they deserve it because, again, they launched the modern era of Star Trek, at least back in the 80s. They were sort of the second original series when you really think about it, because without the Next Generation and the success from that show, there would be no Deep Space Nine, there would be no Voyager, there would be no Enterprise. So they're sort of that second original series, and they launched Star Trek for a whole new generation, and that's where the nostalgia lies, more so than Voyager, which came a number of years after. We're even seeing a little bit of Star Wars fatigue. There's a lot of concern over the new Mandalorian movie. Projections aren't looking that great, and I'm not a downer. I'm here to share nothing but love and hope and optimism for all things sci-fi. Don't want to be a YouTube channel that just complains about how bad modern day Star Trek is or stuff I don't like. I'm here to share with you the things that I do like and love about all sci-fi, Star Trek and Battlestar Galactica and Back to the Future and all that stuff. But to be honest, as a producer, I can see why Janeway never got that spinoff. Hey, this video is brought to you by TraderBubba.com. At TraderBubba.com, I got all sorts of fun new sci-fi shirts and mugs. Tea, okay, hot. Release the Riker Files. This is actually one of my favorites, huge seller. And I Survived Wolf 359. All proceeds do go to charity. The charity does change once in a while, so come back and take a look at that. TraderBubba.com. Link in the description down below. Special shout out to all our new subscribers from that last video that's doing very well. Welcome, and if you are new here, please consider subscribing and help this baby channel grow. But don't go away just yet, because if you're curious about what else is going on with Star Trek and all these new shows coming or not coming, I've got some great videos right here. You're going to want to check these out.